Hello, DK class. I just want to say that I miss all of you and I can't wait till we get back together, and hopefully that will be soon. But in the meantime, um, Dr. Hilton and I thought it'd be fun for us to show you, or for me to show you, some of the shells that I brought into class. And since we haven't been able to get um, to know them yet, so I thought we would do that. I'm going to start off first with some coral. Now, coral um, is found under the water, and it needs to have warm water. It likes the clear, warm water, and it needs sunlight to grow. So it doesn't go in deep ocean, and a coral reef is where a bunch of coral live together, and it's really a beautiful place. Lots of different colors and lots of different kinds. Some are big towers, some are fans, some are even caves and castles and tunnels, and just a lot of neat things that grow in a coral reef. So basically I'm going to show you some coral reef. Now these types of coral, if you can see them well, hopefully, are called the fan kind of coral. So here's this one. This was more of an orangey color. This one's more of a purpley color. Both are coral, and both of these, and actually all coral is made out of, or made from little animals called polyps. Some are hard, some are more delicate like these are. I'm going to show you some that are a little harder. So this is part of a coral, big piece of coral. And this actually had little polyps, what they call polyps, or little animals that live in it and make this. Now, all coral stays, it's permanent. So they anchor themselves in the sand or on rocks or something, and then this is where they live. They do not move from that area. So this one's really pretty too. This is more like a green color. This one looks like a castle spiral. So, but this was also made from an animal, the polyp. So it's really cool. But there's all different kinds. Here's another one that's just all white, and hopefully you can see this. And this one. So these are all different kinds. Also, sea sponges. Sea sponge also grows in this area, and this is really pretty cool. And also from an animal. And then this one is actually like a sea urchin, I think, but it's really kind of spindly and gentle. You have to be gentle with it because the prickles will fall, but it's not pointy. But this also grows in that area. So, and then also the thing that we want to show you is, or talk about, is some really cool shells. Now, a shell, any shell here, is basically the outer covering of an animal known as a mollusk. So snails, clams, oysters, or just a few snails. Yeah, all of those are kind of an example of those. So what these mollusks do is they produce a chalky white juice that they secrete, and then or comes out of them, and it hardens, and they keep hardening and keep making the shell bigger and bigger as they grow. So I wanted to show you some different examples of shells, and each shell has a different kind of name. Now, I'm not sure of all the names, but we can get through some of them. So, but I wanted to show you really close up here some of these shells. So I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that little shell on my finger? So I'm going to put a bunch in my hand. All these little tiny, tiny, tiny shells had animals in them. And they're all different colors too. So that's what's really pretty cool. So I don't know if you can see all of them really well, but all of these had a little animal in them, to the point where they are tiny, tiny, to where they get to be really big, like this one. So it's kind of neat to see how God made them and how God created each one a little differently and has different colors in it. So these here, this one like this, and these kind of right in here, these are all snail shells. So they're pretty cool looking. And they're all a little different. So these are all kind of called Lewis moon shells. A lot of this one, like this one's a Lewis, I think, moon shell. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I can stick it on my finger a little bit better. So the snail would live inside here, and this would be his shell. So here's a better shot of it. Go that way. Okay. So, and then also these are called, I think, whelk shells. And these are the fun ones that, because they get to be really big, and everybody says, if you have a big shell, put it up to your ear, and you can hear the ocean. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. And you can see how they come in a lot of different colors. Look at that pretty one. All the different colors in that. So, and then here, you can see the inside. I'll get this a little closer. Here's the inside of it. And here is where the snail would live, up and through here. It's kind of hard for me to do, but here. And this is all of the shell that he would create as he get bigger. So it's a pretty cool thing. See inside? It's pretty neat. Some of them have spikes, pointy spikes. You can maybe see that one is a little different. So they're really pretty in that respect. And here's the one that's a top. See, this is the top of it. You can see the circle, the spiral in it. So that's pretty neat. And then some of these then too are clam shells and oyster shells. So that's kind of a neat thing. So here are mussel shells. This is a mussel shell. This is probably a mussel shell. And what happens is inside here is where the little creature lives. So it would be hinged, like, see if I can get this done. It's kind of like that, and then it would be closed, and inside is where the mussel is. This is an oyster shell, kind of the same thing. They would have a top to it. And a lot of animals like seagulls and otters and different things like that love these types of animals, and they love to break them open and eat what's inside of them. So here's a bunch of pretty colors too. This is also a clam shell. Clams are kind of the same thing. This is a scallop. Same type of idea. So all of that is where two kind of join together and the mussel is inside. So it's pretty neat how God created all these a little differently. And then these would be attached to rocks and boats and piers and things like that you can possibly see. A lot of these I found on the shore. So if you go down to the seashore, you can find them on the rocks or in the sand. Sometimes they wash up, which is really cool. Here, this one's really shiny. I don't know if you can see that, but that's really shiny. I almost can see through it. So that's pretty cool. A lot of that happens, and you can go walking on the shore and find that. So, and then the other things I want to just show you, some of the fun things, are here, this one. This is called a horseshoe crab. Now I'm going to show you a picture of a horseshoe crab. You find these along the beaches here. So this is what a horseshoe crab looks like. Okay. Has a big hard shell and a pointy, like a pointy tail. Now that tail will not hurt you. It's not a stinger or anything like that. And that's what this is. So if you can see that, that is a horseshoe crab tail. Or not, yeah, So that's kind of cool. I found this on the beach, so sometimes you find that. Here again, I showed you this in class, but I just want to show it to you again. Here's a little sea creature. I'm going to hold it kind of this way. And we kind of talked about them. So this kind of a creature would probably be around the coral, and they would stick with the coral and wrap their tail around the coral. Another thing you might find are sea stars. So that's what these are. These are sea stars. Sorry about that. This is sea stars. So here you go. This is what sea stars look like. And these actually are made from animals too. If you see that little hole, that's where the animal will live. And they would have legs that stick out, and they would stick to rocks or whatever, and then they would kind of find their food and eat it. But that's this is actually made from an animal too. So here's those. And all of them have like a star in the middle. So I'm going to show you a few more. Here's one that's brown. And there's just another one that big. So some of them are small, some of them are big. They come in various sizes. And then the other thing is a sea star. Okay, that's kind of cool too. This is also an animal. Its mouth and everything's back here, and it crawls. So when it's wet or alive, it's flexible. This is hard, so it won't be moving anymore. But basically, that's what they do, and then they crawl around and eat also. So they like rocks and piers and things like that too. So that's a sea star. So it's fun to go to the beach and find all this fun stuff in the oceans. You just never know what you might find when you walk. Low tide is the best time to find shells, so hopefully you will be able to, next time you go to the beach, find some of this stuff. Hopefully when we get back together, I'll bring it back in if Dr. Hilton thinks that would be good, and we can look at it close up. So I just wanted to, again, hopefully this was kind of fun and you got to see a lot of fun, cool shells. So again, here's a couple different ones. I'll show them to you, and then I'll be signing off. Oh, I forgot this. This is for the boys especially. This right here, I don't know if you can see it, is a shark's tooth. So sharks do lose their teeth and then they grow back. But there, right there is a shark's tooth. So that was kind of fun too. And I bought that. I didn't find that one. So, but again, the beautiful colors of the shells. There's pinks, there's purples, there's browns, there's blues. This one's a big blue one. So they're just beautiful. And, it's amazing. God can make them all, they could have made them all yucky and brown or black or not very attractive, but yet He created these animals to produce lots and lots of fun colors in their shells and making them very pretty. So here's a couple more. So, all right. Well, hopefully you have enjoyed this, and I'll hopefully see you in a couple weeks. Miss you guys and love you. Bye.